For the longest time, I have had struggles and difficulties with the difference between following Christ and obeying what he says, but also stepping out in faith and doing the things that I believe are the right things. And I never could get my mind around with how should I do this? Should I just wait on all the orders of the Lord, or am I just allowed to also go my own way? But yeah, it's really not, I'm not supposed to follow my own will, but to crucify my will. So how does this work? This was a struggle that I struggled with for years now. And I might have found today the answer with a lot of prayer and a lot of help from the Lord. But it comes down to this, that in our daily walk, we are to have our own personality, our own goals, our own things. But what we do is that we align them with what God has. So it is our lives, it is our wills, but with our will in our lives, we try to seek and do the Father's will. So it's not necessarily that God has to command everything that we do or ought to do, but that we are to trust that he leads us as we are willing to do his will in our lives, in our daily decisions, to align with his will. And his will for our lives is wonderful, beautiful, perfect. So it is basically with our own will, we decide to want to do the things of him, but we also make decisions of which what we believe is the right thing, and then basically start doing those things and walk out in faith and discover that it's most often of the time in alignment with God's will. So here is what I have come to understand, that is, as we are doing this, that the Lord is guiding us as we go. And there is a trust. So we stop focusing on the small nitty-gritty details, like as if God is a task manager, but we start focusing on the greater picture, thinking like Christ, so that we would come to the same conclusion as Christ would, so that we would start to think like him, so that we would see something and think in like-minded ways as him. That's of course that's the reason why we would want to continue reading his word and doing all these things. But really, we are to continually focus on becoming more like him, and thus becoming more like ourselves, how we are made to be in him. And that is how we walk with Christ. So there is no do this, do that, and as if we are just a slave and and he is our taskmaster. No. We are his child, and he wants us to grow up. He has a plan in mind for us, but we are free to make choices. But as we make choices, we come to learn what is helpful, what is blessing, what is a kind of way of living that really pleases the Father and helps others and helps us grow more to become into the person that God has called us to be. So here's my encouragement: stop focusing on the what and begin to experience how it is to think like Christ, and try to step out in your faith, and remember that he is for you and not against you. So if you make a mistake, he is quick to forgive, and he wants to teach you in all the things that he has for you. God bless you all.